I'm trying to win every game, bro. I don't really care what game it is. I'm trying to win every game.
Trying to win every game. Welcome here into Teal, the show. The Jaguars have an opportunity to get a win this week against a winless Houston Texans team that's coming to town. So this is definitely going to be a big game for the Jaguars as they try and bounce back. Got Kyle Ashley hanging out with me tonight. Kyle, back at the bank this week, and the Jaguars, they could definitely use a dub.
Yes, they could. I mean, you said it, bounce back. That's kind of been the word that's been thrown around the locker room. We asked some players what they thought, they needed to do and the importance of this game. We also asked them, it's a divisional game. The Texans, kind of a rivalry, and they know that if they want to get back on track, this is when they need to do it.
But yeah, very important. I mean, you got to take the lessons that you got from the week before and just move along. It's a long season, Liam even said it in the team meeting when we started camp. He's like, hey, guys, this ain't going to be perfect. We might lose a game. The most important thing is going to be how we respond. And I think they've done a great job with the coaches, great energy, not, no sulking around. It's like, hey, we lost the game. So let's move along, let's respond, and what a great opportunity. Added that it's the Texans, they're 0-2. They're going to come in highly, highly motivated. They got great coaches over there, great players, so they're going to be motivated. So we're going to have to meet the punch that they want to come throw at us.
Yeah, I think we just treat it like any other game. It's just the next opportunity, and I think that's what's important is just going next within our process and doing what we need to do within our process. And if we do that, I think that everything takes care of itself.
It's big. You want to get back in the win column, 1, division game 2, and I just say stay ahead of the race. Getting the winning side of things with the winning record and stuff. I hate chasing at the end of the year. I want to just stay ahead of the whole year.
No chasing for the Jaguars, but they do need a response. So here's the stat that nobody wants to talk about. The Jaguars have lost to the Houston Texans at home for years in a row. The last time the Jaguars won a game against Houston Texans in the bank, 2017. So this is a big bounce back in more than one ways. You can kind of send a message and honestly put the Houston Texans season to bed. If you look at the statistics, an 0-3 team, the odds of you making the playoffs become astronomical. You get this win, you drop the Texans to 0-3, and all of a sudden, look, the AFC South becomes a race between the Jaguars and the Colts. Yeah, I think we all had that on our bingo cards for 2025.
The name of the game is urgency for the Texans for sure. Now, we'll get to predictions a little later in the show. I just want to know what confidence in the Jaguars, where are you at?
Look, I think the offense has shown that they can do a lot of good things out there on the field. While they've moved the ball through 2 weeks, they got to do a little bit better job in the red zone. There's been a few too many field goals or you turn over on downs. Those are the differences between those games. If we go back to week 1 against the Panthers, if you pick a few less field goals, all of a sudden it looks like you blew them out for real. And people are not saying, well, it was against the Panthers. They're saying, wow, look at what the Jaguars did. And the same thing goes for against the Cincinnati Bengals, where if you're able to cash in on a couple of those red zone trips, all of a sudden we're not talking about a bounce back week. We're talking about moving to 3-0, right? So that's the difference for this team. They've been able to eat up yards. Liam Cohen has been as advertised. Jaguars have the top rushing offense in the league right now. Also the top turnover defense in the league. So they're playing good on both sides of the football. They got to carry it over. They got to do it against a division opponent. And, you just got to find a way to make those couple of plays late in the game in the fourth quarter. That was the difference last week.
It was. And now this is the Texans. We know last year the Texans came in. Azeez Al-Shaair knocks out Trevor Lawrence. There's been a lot of talk about that. Yeah. I will say one thing I did like to hear. We asked Coach Cohen what he thought about it. And he said the best way for Trevor to respond is to just be surgical and just how he handles the offense. And I think I agree with him. That would be the best way for Trevor Lawrence to kind of get back as the Texans, is just dial it up and just dice them all the way down the field the entire game.
Yeah, look, the best thing you can do is go out there and get a dub. That's your revenge. You go out there and get a win, and you put the Houston Texans season kind of falling down the drain. And all of a sudden, the Jaguars are in the driver's seat, and everybody feels warm and fuzzy inside, right? All right, we still got plenty more Teal the show ahead. Coming up next, we'll talk more about if we think they're going to get a win. Plus, we'll hear from Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. That's coming up right after this quick break.
I think the Jaguars stick to what the Jaguars do, and we go about our process, and we go how we do things around here. We'll do what we need to do.
It's 2 weeks into the Liam Cohen era, and there's already a personality to this team of what the Jaguars do. Felt like they've been searching for that for years, so it's kind of a breath of fresh air. It's nice.
Keep the main thing the main thing. I feel like that's a tagline for the Liam Cohen era so far.
Yeah, keep the main thing the main thing. Stay focused on the week at hand, and one of the main things this week has been keeping an eye on, well, Brian Thomas Jr., right? BT hasn't had the start to the year that people were expecting. He's going to be a little bit of a focal point of the offense and maybe a focal point of defenses. And so far, that's been a little bit of a slow start, especially last week in Cincinnati. It was a rough go of it for Brian Thomas Jr. Then it comes out that he had a wrist injury. He's popped up on the Jaguars injury report for that wrist this week. But we did get a chance to talk to Brian and Trevor, and both of them don't seem too concerned about the situation right now.
It's football. I mean, it doesn't always go perfect, you know. Obviously, we would love to start off hot these first 2 games and our connection be, you know, ripping and me finding him everywhere and him having a great year and all those things. But, I mean, we're in week 2, everybody. So I think we can all just take a deep breath, give BT a little space. You know, he's going to be just fine. Not worried about him at all. Just something we got to continue to work at. And you know, we're going to have a good plan for him each week to be involved. And he's too good of a player to not, you know, be involved and make those plays down the field that we all know he can make, and got all the confidence in the world in him and excited for just another opportunity for him this week to get going.
Nah, I wouldn't call it a slump. I mean, I just got to go out there and execute, make the plays. I wouldn't say I'm in a slump or nothing. Just got to, you know, my name called, my number's called, you got to go out there and execute, make the play. That's it. I mean, I don't really, people look at it how they look at it. People got their own opinions, so everything. So, I mean, you can look at it how you look at it, however you want to look at it. I know, like I said, I know what I'm capable of, I know what I can do. So, yeah, everybody got their own opinion, so it is what it is.
No concern in the building about Brian Thomas.
Now, Jamal, would you call it a slump?
You know what? I wouldn't. I think it's been a little bit of a rough go of it. I think he's going to get up to speed. I think it will catch up. I mean, one thing, this is the perfect week for him. Last year, 2 matchups against the Houston Texans. In both games, he had over 75 yards receiving and a touchdown. So the expectations that he'll probably see a lot of Stingley from the Texans, who is a really good cornerback. But Brian Thomas is the kind of guy that when he's challenged like that, that's when he's going to play his best ball. So this is actually the perfect week for him to wake up from. If you want to call it a slump, go for it. But I think it's just been a slow start. I think it's a slow start.
Perfect chance to step up. Now, I'll also say that we talked about the offense. It has looked good. If VT steps up, this offense gets another gear.
Yeah, look, I think they gotta figure out the firepower situation with this offense. The running game's been rolling. Travis Etienne, Bashal Tootin, look, no complaints there from those guys, but the receivers were like going into the year, I said this was the best receiving core that Trevor Lawrence has played with. We got to get a little bit more from those guys. I mean, De'Ami Brown, another guy who didn't have a great week in Cincinnati, a couple of drop passes, including one in the end zone. Brian Thomas, obviously the expectations are sky high for that guy. But even Travis Hunter, I mean, it hasn't been as maybe flashy and down the field as you'd like to see with that guy. It's been a lot of short passes, let him do what he does after the catch with his legs. I think these guys got to get a little bit more consistent and pop some of those big plays to open things up for Trevor in that offense. And that's going to keep the running game rolling.
Yeah, last week it was Parker Washington who kind of had the splash plays, if you will, getting down the field a little and then making something out of nothing. He had that one that was like 30 yards where he broke a couple tackles. So
yeah,
they definitely need some of those plays to move the chains.
Look, Parker has earned a bigger spot in this rotation. Parker has had a fantastic training camp. Parker has now shown that he can do it out there on the game field. Parker Washington has shown it for a couple of years that when his number gets called, he shows up. And now he has to be a stronger part of this rotation. Do I think he's going to be your wide receiver number 1? No, but I think he can get out there and contribute with those big plays like you saw from him last week. He's a guy that I think Trevor knows he can trust to go and make those plays. And that's the thing with him, is earning your quarterback's trust to give you a shot to go be the playmaker.
Hey, I hear that. All right, let's get into predictions real quick. I'll go first just because I'm ready to get it out, and then I'll let you go. Now, I will say last week I gave him 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to go that far. But I will go 2 scores. I think the Jaguars, take care of business. They get a field goal late to put them up 31-20. And I'll tell you this, we talked about it a little earlier, running the ball and getting turnovers. that's the winning formula. You find a way to do that, and I think you'll be in just about every game you play. So that's what I'm going with. 31-20, run the ball, take the ball. That's all you got to do.
All right, I'm going to go another Jaguars dub here. I'm with you there. I'll go 24-27.
Okay.
I'll go 24-27. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think Brian Thomas gets in the end zone. I think we see a big day from BT. I think they'll get him off and rolling. We'll see how it all comes together as the Jaguars kind of put the pieces to this thing rolling. If something goes wrong this week, then we start to shift it a little bit, right? But I think they do get a dub here. I think they got to protect the home field. You got to get a win against Houston and put them in the dirt. You got to finish them.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I think you take care of business, but also if you're at the game, you can come out and see us, right, Jamal?
Yeah, look, we'll be hanging out over at the slab tailgating, or Tealgating, however you want to call it. So we'll be counting down to kickoff. If you're out there tailgating, come by, say hello. If you are sitting at home, want to get ready for kickoff and get a little bit of the tailgate energy, you can come hang out with us right here on Channel 4. We will be live on Sunday from 11 to noon. We'll have a little bit of fun along the way, and we'll get you ready with everything you need to know about the Jaguars and maybe a couple of fun stories, too. Yeah, it doesn't get too much better than that. Looking forward to these Tealgates. These are a lot of fun to get out there at the slab, the circle ups. You get all the energy. It's a little hot right now, but that's all right. Look, you're getting the football energy, the football spirit.
Come out and join us. We love talking to you guys. We love seeing you guys. Hey, you might even find yourself on the show, so it's a great time.
Come hang out on the Teal couch. You never know. You never know. Hey, look, definitely looking forward to another day back at the bank. We'll see if the Jaguars can bring home a dub. We appreciate you spending some of your Friday night with us here on Teal the Show, and hopefully we'll see you Monday night, and maybe we'll be talking about a Victory Monday. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.